It had been nearly 3 years since I last saw Nathan. When we broke up, it was mutual, respectful, and mostly quiet. We'd grown apart, two people on different paths, chasing different dreams. I had moved to Chicago for graduate school, and he stayed in Seattle to run his startup. Life moved on, and so did we. But when I saw his name flash on my phone last Friday night, I didn't know what to think. At first, I hesitated to respond. It wasn't like I had been waiting for this. I was settled now, working as a communications coordinator at a nonprofit and living with my best friend, Eva, in a cozy 2-bedroom apartment. I had my own life. But curiosity tugged at me, not the dangerous kind, but the kind that makes you wonder who someone has become. "Hey, Chloe. I'll be in town this weekend. Want to catch up over coffee or dinner?" his text read. I took a deep breath and typed back, "Sure. Dinner sounds nice." Saturday evening rolled around quicker than I expected. I spent a little too long choosing my outfit, eventually settling on a navy blue blouse, jeans, and a light cardigan. Simple. Safe. Comfortable. Nathan picked me up around 6. He hadn't changed much, same sandy brown hair, kind eyes, and slightly awkward smile. But there was something more grounded about him now, like he had spent time figuring things out. He drove us to a local Italian restaurant that had barely changed since college. It was nostalgic, the smell of garlic bread, the soft hum of jazz playing in the background, and couples whispering over wine glasses. We laughed over old memories and talked about where life had taken us. "I remember you swearing you'd never work a 9 to 5, I teased. He chuckled, "Yeah, well, startup life made me appreciate stability. I'm working with a tech consulting firm now. It's actually kind of nice." By dessert, it felt like we had bridged the 3-year gap. He asked if I wanted to stop by his place for tea before heading back. I hesitated, but it wasn't late, and there was still so much we hadn't talked about. So I agreed. His apartment was tidy, minimalist, and unexpectedly warm. Books lined the shelves, a guitar leaned against the corner wall, and soft lighting made it feel cozy. He brewed a pot of green tea while I browsed his bookshelf. "You still have this?" I said, pulling out a travel journal we started together during our trip to Colorado. He smiled. "Couldn't get rid of it. That trip was special." It was quiet for a moment, the kind of silence that isn't awkward, just full of unspoken memories. We sipped tea and talked on the couch until I noticed the clock. "Wow. It's almost midnight. I can drive you home," he said, getting up. "But, could I ask something before you go?" I looked at him. "Sure. Do you ever think about us? Not in a romantic way, just what we had." I smiled gently. "Sometimes. But mostly, I think about how much we both needed to grow. And I'm glad we did." He nodded, walking me to the door. Just as I reached for my bag, I tripped over the side of his rug and nearly fell forward. Without thinking, he stepped toward me to catch me, a quick reflex, bumping into me in the process. We both burst into laughter. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah," I said, brushing my hair behind my ear. "Guess your carpet still needs tape." That moment, clumsy, innocent, and light-hearted, somehow broke the tension. We hugged goodbye, and I left with a strange mix of closure and curiosity. The next morning, Nathan sent me a message. "Thanks for last night. No expectations, but I'd like to keep in touch, if that's okay." I sat with the message for a while before replying. "I'd like that too." Over the following weeks, we texted occasionally. Nothing intense. Just check-ins, song recommendations, funny memes. We became, somehow, new friends, two people who once loved, grew up, and met again without needing to rewrite the past. And maybe that was the real story. That sometimes, life gives you a moment not to relive something, but to revisit it, kindly, honestly, and with no strings. It reminded me that love doesn't always come back to stay. Sometimes, it returns just to say thank you and move on. And that's beautiful in its own right.